All right, welcome to the fourth episode of the morning paper. I'm your host Micah, and today is Thursday, September 8th at 6:50 a.m. The first thing I wanted to get into today was the Russian gas being cut off from Nord Stream 1. And this happened a couple of days ago, but I think it's still important because I didn't cover it in my last episode. So yeah, we knew it was canceled for a little bit, but it won't remain open. It will remain closed until the sanctions are lifted, said Dmitry Peskov, which is the Kremlin press secretary. So this is his exact quote translated. The problems in gas rose due to sanctions that have been imposed on our country by a number of Western countries, including Germany and the UK. There are no other reasons behind the supply issues. Seems pretty cut and dry to me. Um, I don't know how you could interpret that any other way besides they're not changing until Europe and EU changes. So they really need to lift those sanctions, man, or else they're gonna have a tough winter. But that it kind of brings us to this story about heating restrictions in Europe. Now, there's four. Let's go back to this. There's four main pipelines through Europe that they sent, like Russia sends their gas through. Nord Stream, which has just been cut off. There's one through Belarus. I forgot what it's called. There's a Ukrainian supply route, which has been cut off, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it's still operational, but it's operating at lower levels. And the Belarus one has been cut off completely, too. Um, and then the Turk Stream pipeline, which goes through Turkey and up through the Balkans. And that one's still going better than ever. So, yeah. And right here, this is a report about Switzerland. They also have restrictions. They consider jailing citizens $3,000 and imprisonment for up to 3 years, which is insane for having your house heated to 70 degrees, and daily fines for excess natural gas use start at $30, which is not too high, but it's still quite a lot of strain to put on your population. I don't know what the total number of natural gas, like you have a stove and you cook a lot, or big house maybe if you have more need. I'm not quite sure. And this is also talking about that supplies like a ration in the winter months. And several European countries, this brings us back to the graph right here. Several European countries have yeah, okay. So several European countries have limited, or they have stored up lots of gas. So like the EU, I think, made a pact where they say we need 80% of our gas reserves full before the winter. And so right now they're at 60%. And I think that's what brought this down from its high a couple days ago when I last reported to you. It was at 309 there, and now it's at 199 or about 200. So it came down about a third, about 30%. So coming back down, probably because of that reason, they realized, hey, we have our. This is because Nord Stream got shut down indefinitely, and this was because they realized they probably had enough to last the winter, which they might not, but they still need a ration just in case it's a tough winter. All right. Next story is going to be the strength of the U.S. dollar. This is an article. I don't want to register, so I'm not going to show you all of it. I can't. But it's about how the dollar has been really strong. So we can see right here. Go with a 5 year chart. You can see as it goes down. This is like opposite. I can change it. I probably should. So this just shows the strength of the dollar. As it goes up, the dollar gets stronger. As you can see, it's stronger than ever. This is for the euro. You can change to the pound. Looking very similar. Canadian dollar, it should be a little bit less, but It's getting higher. I don't know what oh, that was the pandemic. Okay. You can see the yen, developed countries. That kind of hockey sticked up. And here's the rupee. Again, keep going up. Developing country, I should say. South Africa, kind of in the middle. Russia, just look interesting to look at. Won't necessarily follow the same pattern because, yeah, there's been some interesting economic things. Um, Thailand, developing country. Mexico, not as much so. Similar to Canada though, because they have a lot of trade with us. Um, Turkish lira has been going insane recently. Colombian peso, developing country. So you can see it's the dollar's been going up quite a bit, and the reason for this, mainly I would say, uh, is interest rates. So the U.S. has a rather high interest rate right now compared to the rest of the world, because the rest of the world still has their pandemic interest rates from 2020, whereas we've moved to the next stage where we raised interest rates to try to prevent inflation, which we may have done, we may not have done. Only time will tell. But still, inflation is pretty high. But it's not as high as in some other countries, like in Europe or in Turkey, especially because if you want to look at Turkey's lira here, you can see their inflation is absolutely insane. This was that so you get 5 Turkish liras for a dollar in 2018. Now you can get 18, 18 Turkish liras today. So that's it's like over 3 times. Over 3 times as much. The dollar is 3 times as strong as in Turkey. So what this does is it puts pressure on the other economies of the world to raise their interest rates, which I think is a good thing because then it'll bring investment to their country. Uh, but it won't grow their domestic economy as fast is the problem. So they need to weigh their options. Turkey has really high inflation, but that's a topic for another day. Yeah. Next, China has this is from a while ago. I think it's kind of important still. So China's GDP has like flatlined. So if let's see if we can get a chart. USA versus China GDP. So you've heard for a while probably that um old that yeah this new chart shows China's economy could take over the world's largest. You've heard that forever, right? Um, but there China has still like a lockdown, so it's kind of hard. You can see they added 20. Yeah, we added the United States added 22 billion or trillion, I guess. No, that's our annual GDP. I can't see how much it rose. But let's say just you don't have to believe me on this, guys. The U.S. Yeah, China's rose by 4% in the fourth quarter, bringing full year growth. Anyway, whatever. They're slowing down. They're not growing as fast as they have been historically. Um, yeah, so it's gonna happen. The Chinese GDP uh, take over as the number 1 spot is gonna be a little bit slower than we previously thought. That's the whole story. Yeah, natural gas. Finally, the story in California. You've heard probably rolling blackouts, possible. And I guess it's really hot in California right now because they had to send out um, a text message that said Yeah, here. Conserve energy now to protect public health and safety. Extreme heat is straining the energy grid. Which, on the surface, sounds okay, but if you dig a little bit deeper, think about it for a minute, it sounds kind of dystopian. Um, yeah, they had their highest rate of uh, power usage without rolling blackout, which is pretty impressive. So I don't know if they're turning up at nuclear power plants or what. Maybe it's really sunny, so they could do that. That makes sense. So yeah, they saved it, and it went down about 10% in 5 minutes, which is absolutely insane. Um, that's a weird ass. It's a weird analogy. Um, but yeah, so they avoided it, and there's been some talk about the winter, about possible rolling blackouts coming in the fallish winter season. I don't know if they're true, but here they seem to have this set up by the California Independent System Operator. Guess what that's from? There's a state office. It's the state's Office of Emergency Services. Hmm. I guess they were notified by the system operator, so and they sent out a message, which is pretty good, pretty efficient, I'd say, on their part, but still kind of weird, kind of concerning that they would need to send that out. Um, yeah, but I guess it could let people know that the power grid is draining, and it did. It did. It really did. That's gonna be it for today, guys. Have a good day. Have a good morning. I might upload this at 7:30 instead of the normal 8 o'clock. So special treat for you. Congratulations, and have a good day. Like and subscribe.